and soaring freely around the rigging. Feels like something's on the cusp. Something marvelous just beginning. Now I'm stood above the sodden soil, and I'm toiling over this hole I'm digging. Should I knock it down right dead, or quietly bury it while it's still living? Fractured and black, my poor heart was struggling. Wept all over it and rusted the casket shut. Then solemnly to the cemetery to lay it underground. No song, no psalm, no sermon, no sound. And who is this who through his cowardice has sickened and withered it? My lover, brother, confidant and friend. Don't hesitate, don't slacken pace, and never look over your shoulder. I will follow on as planned, and we will meet again before we're much older.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't paying adequate attention and didn't notice that we reached the end of the song. Good evening, and welcome back to the Dwarven Fortress of Keskalokil, where we have 37 dwarves, but at least that's about the same number that we had last time, I think. Because we managed to send the last batch of goblins away, not so much with a flea in their ear as with the thing that they came to collect. But since that was like one copper spear, or it wasn't a spear this time, I think it was something else, battle axe or some such, and we've got so much copper that we can make an indefinite quantity of them if necessary. I'm not really worried. Plus it might encourage the soldier who had named and fallen in love and whatever with that the said spear to get a better one, because I'm sure we've got something much better lying around somewhere. Hello, Soul. Are you actually going to open a terminal window for me? Maybe not. So, yes, where are we? We are trying... We have almost... Actually, I might not need to qualify it. I think we may actually have set up the new goblin drowning mechanism, yes. We can tell it's autumn because all the trees have red leaves, apart from the willows, apparently. They kind of go yellow, don't they? And so I think the next batch of goblins that foolishly have any member of them tread on this pressure plate, which isn't quite the only way off this platform because you can clamber off into the trees for now, then that will cause this thing to open and drop any goblins behind them into the water, which hopefully, if the goblins can't remember how to swim, will be inconvenient for them. We were also trying to arrange that the remaining dwarves who don't know how to swim could be taught to swim, which is turning out slightly complicated, and I've got distracted by deciding that I designed the system wrong, and so I'm redesigning it, except that now we also have the problem that the entrance is flooded and doesn't have a sensible way to get the water out of it. But I'm sure we'll sort it out in due course. So I'm just trying to reorganise my IRC into a sensible location. Right, there we go. What else is going on? Oh yes, and I'm trying to tie up the giant hamsters over here, and I think I may run into problems of not being able to work out which ones are tied up, because that's quite hard to tell apparently. And we've got a new version of Dwarf Fortress as well. Do we have a button that will tell me what version of Dwarf Fortress I've got? Not there. None of those appear to help. Oh well. We've upgraded to Dwarf Fortress 52.05, which is not very different from 52.04. They're mostly fixes to crashes and such. Made training marks dwarves use the last bolt in a stack. Again allowed impaled weapons to be dropped by the wielder, leaving the item behind. Apparently. Fixed issues with blinding and necrosis item powers in scripts. Right. This is not the release that comes with all of the scary siege updates, which kind of don't matter to us because, this fort is not very resistant to sieges anyway. If you want to get in, yes, you'll have to wait your way through a load of traps, but unless you're actually going to start building new bridges across the river or learning to swim, you're pretty much going to have to go through the delta. Right, so yes, one thing I'm kind of wondering is why no one wants to build that bridge. Oh yes, another thing, we finally got the dwarves to start burying their dead again, and I was wondering if we could easily work out if we have enough tombs for all the remaining dwarves, given that we don't seem to be getting new ones. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7. So it looks like we only have 7 empty tombs at the moment. And 7 is obviously rather less than 37. So that suggests to me that I should continue deploying coffins and doors to make another 30 odd tombs, i.e. we need to extend 15 tombs south. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So yes, we don't need to fill in very much of the. We've dug out enough space. We just need to furnish it properly. So, let's continue my earlier thing of trying to attach things to actual So we don't need 30 because there were 4 of them in place already. So we need at most 26 actual workshops rather than free-floating work orders that might get assigned to anything. I'm assuming that we have... Oh, maybe we have some left. Oops, that's not very helpful. I want to install more than one. Okay, we had one. Well, I'll accept installing one more coffin than we need. In particular, merchants and such sometimes need burying, I think. Right, so what I'm curious about is why no one has started building that copper bridge. Like, we have at least some idle dwarves. They are, of course, we want a metalworker, a metalworking task. I think blacksmithing is the correct one for building copper bridges. That is set to only selected, but like, it's not even like we have the right person. Let's temporarily switch metalworking to everybody. Then someone can come along and build that bridge very slowly if necessary. I hope. I think it'll be metalworking because it's entirely made of copper. So, what's going on with animal training? Let's have a look at the animals. Well, mostly I'd like them to stay vaguely tame. So we have Ushrir, who is currently meant to be taming the giant hamsters. And who is instead socialising. Why is Ushrir socialising? I wonder if a possibility is that the giant hamsters are not in a place where they can be tamed, but surely you could take them to a place where they could be tamed. Here, incidentally, is, I think, someone taking a giant hamster to be chained up. So, I mean geographically. I wonder if I need to create a... Like, we currently have a pen/pasture there. What happens if we make an animal training zone in this sort of area? No, we want to make it slightly bigger than that. Actually, I could have modified it, couldn't I? I wonder if that will help, because now the hamsters are all, well, at least many of them, in an animal training area. So Ushrir is still socialising, but that's in part because they're currently in a military role. Maybe we should temporarily take them out of the military. You're currently in the Lardy Larks, but you're happy. Why are you in the Lardy Larks? You don't need to be in the Lardy Larks. Right, let's take you out of the Lardy Larks. Maybe now you'll go and train some animals for me. No, you're going to go and store an item in a bin instead. Then I'm going to turn off your other activities. We desperately need people to train animals. Yes, I think Ushria cheered up and thus no longer needs to be in the Lardy Larks. It's not that I want Ushria to be unhappy, it's that now they can spend their time doing something other than socialising and get out there and train some hamsters. Or as the case might be, store an item in a bin. So we did have another animal trainer who's meant to be working mostly on the ravens, didn't we? Which was Sodel Atirog, who doesn't seem to be doing their stuff either. Let's find them and work out what they're up to. You're releasing a small animal. I mean, it says pit/pond small animal, which at least is a small animal related task, or an animal related task. Can't remember where I arranged for the small animal to be released, but where are you anyway? You seem to be moving very slowly. Oh yes, there was a significant thing in the release notes, which was where was it? Lost it now. Stopped meandering behaviour for animals that are trained for war or hunting, which I think might mean that some of our things that we're training for hunting are slightly more useful. So what are you doing with small animals? Are you actually successfully releasing some small animals? You're currently hauling a tame cockatiel somewhere. I can't remember where I asked for the small animals to be put. Here's Sodel Atirog, who can remember where the small animals are meant to be put. I hope it's not very far away, because, like, we have stuff to do. I want you to go and say hello to the ravens, rather than faffing around here trying to get through this enormous crowd of animals, dwarves, etc. I mean, there are only 2 small animals that need to be got rid of, so, well, released. General thing being that small animals are almost useless anyway, so let's get them out of the cages so we can use the cages for something more interesting. Right, that's that cockatiel released, so it won't be occupying a cage anymore. Now you're going to a meeting because you're grumpy, aren't you? Maybe you need to go into the Lardy Larks, except you are our best animal trainer, so I don't really want you in there. But maybe we have to accept that if anyone's going to... Ushria 724. Why? What other labours does Ushria have assigned that mean that... You're only tanner. I bet they're not going off to tan things. Apparently you're one of quite a lot of mechanics. I'm going to take you out of mechanics. I mean, probably we don't actually need you as a tanner, but you are our only tanner, so our only halfway competent tanner. Might just try getting other people to be animal trainers. But yes, let's stick Sodel Atirog in here if he's not in here already. Yes, Sodel Atirog, you should be moved to the Lardy Larks so that you can cheer up. Let's therefore add, we've got plenty of people listed as animal trainers. So I think I should just change the ravens to any trainer and see if that helps. There are only currently 2 raven hatchlings left alive. There does seem to be a very dense crowd of hamsters down there. Why are you still storing items in stockpiles? You're not meant to be doing random tasks. Possibly there's something about how I've got the hauling set up wrong. What item is Ushra storing in a stockpile? Armour. So we had this hauling, which is just refuse, furniture, animal and burial, which obviously doesn't, I think, include armour, because I think that's item. And then there's that hauling, which does include item hauling. Indeed, it includes all the other haulings. And that is set to nobody does this. So nobody should be hauling armour around. None of those is actually relevant. So I don't really understand why Ushra is moving armour around at all, because I think no one should be moving armour, let alone someone who is marked as don't do anything other than your assigned task, which is training animals. What items are getting stored in vehicles? Like, this may not actually be a bad thing, and it's a child anyway. It's not like they can do anything much. Oh, we're finally launching goblins into the sea. Excellent. Apparently this is suddenly it has become trendy to well, maybe not actually launch them into the sea, but at least load them into a minecart. So that is that an enormous splish as what's going on with the minecart? Oh no, it's at the top of its ramp at the moment. Let us follow one of the goblin. Oh, can we follow the goblin? We'll have to follow the goblin as a creature, won't we? Asp Dog Osru. Right, we are now following a goblin who is in a cage in a minecart, and will probably in a moment be pushed down the ramp and launched into the sea. If someone thinks it's their job to do that. Someone pushed it up to the top of the ramp. Well, they haven't yet. Very rusty skills, because she's been stuck in a cage for a while. Oh, come on, someone come and push this minecart. There's a perfectly good push track vehicle job here that wants someone to execute it. Oh, meanwhile, the forgotten beast Sarak Momramtath Sodalas has come, an enormous horse with lidless eyes. It has 3 stubby horns and it appears to be emaciated. Its eyes glow golden yellow. Its buff hair is patchy. Beware its hunger for warm blood. Okay. Indeed, there is a button that says, okay. What? The forgotten beast, Imxa Cosmzangongno. Sorry. Gogno. Gogno? Gonigo? Gogno has come. Actually, I could apply Korean consonant assimilation to that, in which case it just becomes gongo, or gongo rather, by assimilating that g into a n. Anyway, has come a towering 8-legged ankylosaurid with lidless eyes. It has a bloated body. Beware its fire. So yes, we appear to be accumulating forgotten beasts here. Well, not here, downstairs in the caverns. It appears that no one actually wants to push this minecart. Yes, Pink Beast, but you don't breathe fire. It seems a bit weird that forgotten beasts appear to be mostly either bloated or emaciated, and none of them appear to be like a sensible, healthy weight. Okay, I'm bored with waiting for someone to throw the goblins into the sea now. I'm sure someone will get around to it eventually. Meanwhile, this is causing everyone to bring more goblins in cages up here for the next round of launching goblins into the sea. Is anyone training any animals yet? Are they? Are they? They're pasturing giant hamsters and ravens and leopards. Leopards? Where are you pasturing a leopard? The leopards are meant to be kept indoors for now. Why has a leopard got outdoors? Has it got outdoors? Is it just wandering around the wrong bits of the fortress? The leopards are meant to be kept here until they grow up, for no very good reason, except it's out of the way. Also the grizzly bears, which we apparently have here too. If only some animals would grow up, we could then have them eat the goblins, eat the faces of those goblins who survived the water thing. I think here is someone trying to get a raven back to where it's meant to be. I mean, we could chain the ravens up as well, but that would seem rude, really. Yeah, some of our giant hamsters are reverting to being wild because they're because no one is training them. Why have you suddenly decided you can't be bothered training hamsters or anything really? Do I also need to make an animal training area over here? And I don't think I do, because like we successfully trained the previous batch of raven hatchlings, which surely we're in the same state as the current batch of raven hatchlings. That's claimed by a raven, but the raven in question isn't sitting on it. I fear that we're going to not have many more hatchlings in the near future. Some dwarves are moving these goblin cages very slowly. The minecart is still sitting at the top of the ramp, waiting for someone to decide that. Possibly everyone suddenly went, oh, we should collect new goblin cages rather than push minecarts around. Oh, are you building that bridge? I think you are, yes, excellent. It'll take a little while, but then we can see if it works. I've read the relevant wiki page and I'm not sure whether it's going to work, because I couldn't quite work out what it meant, but I decided that was at the very least an opportunity for science. So essentially the question is, can we, when this bridge, so this is a raising bridge, so it should change from being a floor that size to being a wall along this edge when it raises. The question is, if it's flooded with water when we raise it, what happens to that water? And the wiki says that water displaced by a raising bridge vanishes. But I don't know if that means water that needs to pass through it downwards when the bridge raises. So we'll see that in a bit once we've finished it, and then we'll discover we have to do something different, which is fine. I have ideas. And apparently, like, we can actually get bridges built now, which is nice. Where's Soda Latarog? Are they now having fun? Well, they're picking up their equipment anyway. Oh yes, already off. Maximally unhappy. Excellent. Who is still maximally unhappy, and can I put them in the Lardy Larks? And kick some other people out of the Lardy Larks, I suspect. So you, for instance, are very happy and have no excuse for being in there. And who is unhappy? Id Adsazir, who is admittedly a militia captain, but I don't care. But I can't, yes, that's the annoying thing. I have to close that. Right, now can I type it in? Yes. Okay, because you're a militia captain, I can't appoint you into the Lardy Larks. Okay, who else is unhappy? Saxel Edem Nosong, or something like that. You're going in the Lardy Larks until you're cheered up. Endok Katinithus, you're still slightly unhappy. You're very happy though. So we want Shorast Nakuth Della. Right. So those dwarves should now be able to relax a bit and become happier. Build door. It's part of the try to give us the ability to bury everyone left in the fortress. Not all at once, I hope. In particular because someone has to be alive to bury the last dwarf. Maybe I start an adventurer game in which my sole purpose is to come here and bury the last dwarf. If I manage to get us down to 0 dwarves left. I think we may have a problem that we now have a bunch of chained up wild hamsters. Right, the bridge has been constructed. Let's see how this works then. So first we're going to want to drain the water out of that pool. So we'll arrange to pull that lever first. Leaves are now falling off the trees. Yes, we can see them falling to the floor. We are not currently collecting all the hazelnuts, etc., because we have more food than we can practically eat. Oh good, some ravens have managed to hatch. An animal has grown to become a stray raven. Sorry, that's actually slightly exciting because that means we now have an actual adult, permanently tame raven. She needs no attention at all. She will just stay tame forever, and her chicks will be tame from hatching. And in general, this is the beginning of ravens just being a thing we do. Right, now, right, we need someone to come and train these guys, though. Thinkbeast says, unfortunately you have any number of skulls for her to perch on. Yes, yes, yes. I mean, we do not have a shortage of skulls in this place, even though we are trying to tidy up the skulls a bit, but ooh, she's already claimed a nest box and laid 7 eggs. Right, forbid those eggs. So now we can check whether they don't slip into depression. You're only at orange. Well, I'm going to stick you in the lardy larks to be on the safe side. Right, someone has pulled the drain lever for the pool. Let's wait a little while so that it can drain more or less properly. Oh, we could just arrange that this corridor drains into the same drain that the room itself drains into, couldn't we? That would be quite easy to do. So if we dig a channel there and then do the same thing another level down and a bit more digging. Aha! And we have adult leopards as well. Yeah, I think the thing about Dwarf Fortress is that it has like giant albatrosses and rocks and so forth in it. So compared to them, a raven's quite small. Right, so we've drained most of the water out of that pool now. So let's pull the lever to shut off the drain. Oh, hang on, we haven't connected the pump control lever to the bridge yet, have we? Right, this is going to be difficult. By which I mean, oh my God, how am I going to do this? So the problem is that I have the same lever. Maybe I just shouldn't. At the moment, so what I had was the same lever operating this gear assembly to connect and disconnect the pump and the bridge. But the bridge is now going to close in such a way that or rather raise in such a way that it blocks the pump. So strictly, we don't need to turn the pump off because it simply won't do anything. So possibly I can do this rather more simply. Now the problem is that this is going to we may have to take up some floor. Are you going to be willing to dig there? Apparently so, yes. But then that room will probably, well, we'll see. Are you willing to dig there? Or are you going to say, no, that's much too wet? No, apparently that's fine. Good. Right, now we just want to install a grate there so that people won't fall down that drain. And that will then mean that the entrance passage won't flood. Or rather, it will flood, but we can unflood it again easily. So where was I? Oh, yes. So I think what I want to do actually is to link a third lever up here. Rename this one to New Pool Pump. Link a third lever to the bridge, then set the pumps running continuously, and just when we raise the bridge, it will block the exit from the pump, and when we lower the bridge, it will, if all works, block the exit from the pump and drop the water from the reservoir into the swimming pool. And when we lower the bridge, it will do the reverse, close the seal up the top of the swimming pool and and allow the pump to fill it with water again. I think this is a much better design than my previous one. Okay, apparently a kiwi has laid an egg in this nest box and then buggered off. That's possibly the correct egg. And it's forbidden, so maybe it'll hatch. Oh, someone's finally training some animals. Good. Maybe we should watch how they do it, actually. See if there's anything like confusing about it. So they're looking at the stray raven hatchling trained. The relevant pasture does not currently have those hatchlings assigned to it. Right. So here is our... Hello, Vile Force of Darkness. Yes, I appreciate it is the first day of winter and you have turned up on schedule, kind of. Right, yes, we will parley. Yes, we will probably try to give you the thing. Assuming that the mayor doesn't get distracted. But be aware that we have built the goblin drowning machine now. So if you become a nuisance... we might test it. Also, maybe we should move some jaguars, not jaguars, leopards over here to greet you. Oh, yes, I should obviously try to arrange to be on the first train to Cambridge South as well as like I was on the first train to Cambridge North. And the second train from Cambridge to Brighton. Right. Oh, damn it, I was watching someone doing some raven training and then I got distracted by railway stations. Are you doing it by any chance? Indeed, I think both of the people currently doing raven training are doing so here, which is... yes, which is the very northwest corner of that animal training area. Right, that kind of makes sense. So that should then make those two raven hatchlings permanently tame, which will be nice. I don't know if the goblins in this state can get themselves caught in cage traps. I don't think so, given that that cage trap still has a cage in it. So I think at this point, I don't know if they know about the cage traps because we're being peaceful. Are we like giving the warnings, don't tread there, you'll end up falling through falling in a cage trap? That would be kind of annoying. I don't know what you're doing, giant hamster. So where's the mayor? Are they... They're busy praying at the moment. Okay. Well, maybe at some point you can go and talk to the goblins. I think the goblin drowning machine is fully automatic, so I don't think I actually need to pay any attention to it. I think this is someone coming to build my lever. Once that's built, then we'll hook it up to the... what are you doing? Oh, you're engaging in individual combat drill. Yes, I suppose we do actually allow that. Maybe I shouldn't because you might drown, but we'll try. Right, now let's link that to the newly built bridge. Can also say make this a high priority job, but since someone's already working on it, I don't need to. That's going to involve lugging some mechanisms around. There is a bit of a problem here, which is that several of the goblins appear to have wandered past the goblin drowning machine, presumably because they have been told, "Oh, don't tread there; it'll." Sorry, I'm a little worried that something might be happening there. It'll set off the goblin drowner. I don't want to tell the goblins that. Well, the goblins are fighting someone. Probably some giant hamsters. Why are you fighting my giant hamsters? This is not cheering. They're my giant hamsters, though. You're meant to be peaceful at the moment. I mean, the mayor is still praying rather than coming out and talking to you, and I accept that that may be a little bit vexing. Okay, our Axe Lord is in a martial trance, which does rather suggest that the goblins are also fighting dwarves, which is bad. Because the goblins are also thus not triggering that pressure plate, possibly because they learned about it while we were being peaceful or something. This is inconvenient. Don't really want to hurl all of my military in there right now, but otherwise we might lose the Axe Lord who's in an inconvenient location. Problem is the military is still getting organised because I wasn't expecting to need to do this so soon. If I take you out of the military, will you run away? I mean, admittedly, you're not really in a position to run away, plus you are in a martial trance. So maybe you're not going to, whether I do it or not, but... Yes, well, that's what I'd like. You run north. Well, you are moving north, that's a good start. So as far as I can tell, one of our problems is that the goblins know about all of these traps and thus can just walk over them with impunity, which is kind of unhelpful. Right, yes, this dwarf is indeed moving away, which is good. Well, I mean, somewhat moving away. Yes. Like, I appreciate that if you're trying to run away from someone, breaking their leg is probably a good way to get away, get to gain on them. Someone else has been found dead. What? Where are you? What? Oh, were you down in this mob somehow? Well, that's fairly terrible, yes. We still haven't really got enough military for an overwhelming offensive, sadly. But a bunch of people are now getting military down there. So I think we need to... Yeah, I think we need to get in there now, even though we may not quite have the numbers we need. Okay, the Regal Gills is actually empty. Maybe I should delete the Regal Gills. Waters of Twinkling doesn't have a commander. Splatter the Lyrical Seas is not exactly full of people. Quite hard to find the dwarves getting into fights in amongst all of the non-dwarves. So yes, I think I'm going to stick you back in the military officially and tell you, oh, you are exhausted though. No, I'm not. I'm going to allow you to not wear yourself out if possible. Only fight defensively. Why are you going that way? All of you, come down here. Get involved. I mean, this is not going to go well, but... No. Actually, have we got anyone down here now, or do we back off a bit? Think we may have withdrawn all of the interesting dwarves, so let's have them regroup or group there instead. While we watch what's going on. Oh no, there is still a dwarf down there. Okay, no, carry on. See if we can save them. Don't think we're going to though. Biggest problem here is dwarves suffering from overexertion. So, do we take you out of the military and hope you then run? You are fairly clear of things. Oh, you're actually in the Lardy Larks. You're not meant to be here at all. The military dwarves are trying to get through the delta to help. I think this might work now. I am, I will admit, not hugely hopeful. Oh dear. Another one down. And we are, those three seem to be doing all right. An awful lot of more goblins, but they are like coming fairly slowly, so I'm somewhat hopeful that we might do okay. You are meant to be executing a station order. I mean, I'm not actually, given that I think we're now out of dwarves down here, maybe actually you should be stationing up there. At which point, of course, they immediately rush southwards. Oh dear. Another one of them down. Yeah, we don't really have enough numbers here. I think this is the point at which I go, why are so few of my dwarves actually in the military? So why do I need to appoint a militia commander before I can appoint anyone else? I think I might need to, yes. No one has any relevant skills for being militia commander, apparently. Okay. So we do seem to have a lot of military capable dwarves who are not actually in the military, which seems unfortunate. And okay, some who are pretty... Okay, we don't have that many, we have about 4. Let's have the Veiled Smiths at least try to get themselves organised. So they will probably spend some time trying to equip themselves. So what's going on with you guys? Are you like in the military? No. Why did I not get the opportunity to put you into the Veiled Smiths? Like, almost everyone here is already in a squad. But that suggests that there are people whom I can't put, who are not... So let's pick a name. Catan Della Catan, that's a very familiar name. You're in the Lardy Larks. Okay, that's fine. I mean, if you're not unhappy, I'll shift you. But Catan Della Catan is quite unhappy as well. Okay. Nil Uzolithal. You're in the Moons of Bolting. Right, okay. Yes, you're one of the 2 people who are actually in the Moons of Bolting. Let's just promote you to be the leader. Except I apparently can't. Okay, can I fire you first and then promote you to be the leader? No, because I can only promote you once I've put someone in. Oops, I was unpaused for a bit. That's going to be unhappy. Yes. Right, yes, the mayor just got killed. Move you to there. So how about you? Bomrek Aranzephon is in the Lardy Larks. So I think we need to start moving people out of the Lardy Larks if they're reasonably happy. Which you're not. Ushrir Thingamy, Muscat Thingy. You're not in any squad. Right. Can I put you into the Moons of Bolting? Yes, I can. Good. Goden Zodon Doc, you're reasonably happy. You're currently in the Lardy Larks. You should not be. Zulban Zondish, already in the moons of bolting. Yes. Asen Sedrustuth, you're in the Lardy Larks. With good reason. Similarly, you're unhappy. Endok Muthkath Kinners. Oops. You're in the Lardy Larks, you probably shouldn't be. Right. I think that's now, while it looked like there were a lot of dwarves outside the military, and indeed there were, it wasn't actually that many. I think we may actually just have to send the non-swimming dwarves in as well. At least insofar as we can. Okay, so now my slight confusion is the way that the goblins are just standing there, for the most part. Okay, one of the goblins appears to be shooting at us. Oh no, here they come. Right, good. Oh yes, how many giant hamsters do we have left? Plenty. Well, actually not that many. I mean, it's quite a lot, but it's nowhere near as many as we used to have. I mean, if the goblins, like, trickle through one at a time... Why have we got a forgotten beast named after the Korean word for umbrella? Simon asks, what language are the forgotten beasts named in? I think they're named in the language of the first civilization to encounter them, because they're the ones who name them. It's possible that, given that they gain extra names as they become more fearsome. Seb asks, what is the Korean word for umbrella? Usan. U meaning rain and san meaning umbrella. Well, umbrella or parasol or otherwise thing that you unfold in order to protect yourself from the weather. Might be, but I bet it's not. It probably is in Chinese, but like it may well be that this has ended up coming into Korean in confusing ways. If it did, it would probably be Heisan, but I'm not quite sure. So the goblins are being very strange now, in that they're staying on their side of the goblin drowning machine, while we stay on our side of the goblin drowning machine, which is like fine by me. I probably can't quite send someone in to modify it so it has a lever to operate it. Dwarves unfortunately need to like eat and stuff, which is inconvenient. Where the goblins can just like sit there and say, we'll see who rusts first. Our chief medical dwarf is apparently in a tree. I think they did briefly get into a fight in the tree. Oh, now they're in a fight higher up in the tree. Don't think that's a very safe place for you to be. Especially not when you've apparently just got quite badly injured, possibly because you didn't like turn up with any... Well, you did turn up with... no, hang on. Did you bring any weaponry at all? No, I don't think you did, and that's why you're in serious trouble, you stoat. When I want the dwarves to, like, get somewhere quickly, they'll spend hours carefully finding the correct armour. And then when I want them to carefully find the correct armour and then turn up, they'll rush into battle wearing nothing at all. Like, literally. Hang back a bit more actually, because as the goblins are dropping down on this side, then yes, go and give them a good thrashing. As you see, here's someone wearing proper armour. Shocking. I think that dwarf is, maybe retreating. Maybe leaping around, making an idiot of themselves. Don't go down there. Oh, the siege is officially over. Okay. Okay, feel free to mop up the remaining goblins then. That was definitely not a successful siege. from our point of view, or from theirs, to be fair. Right, have we got all the goblins now? No, not quite. I mean, you're probably not very long for this world. Right, good. Any more? Right, I think we have now acquired, disposed of all of the goblins, so we can cancel orders and put the lardy larks back to nominal constant training. But yes, that lost us more dwarves than I would have liked. So the goblin drowning machine was not useful, I think, because when we accepted their request for a parley, any traps that they were then immune to our traps, and moreover, any traps that they learned about, they continued to be immune to after they decided they were going to attack us. So that suggests if we're going to depend on traps, we're going to need not to accept offers of parley, which is kind of, yeah, scary. But maybe we just need to build lots and lots and lots of traps and refuse to parley. Maybe also understand how burrows work and whether we can avoid dwarves getting too close to the boundary. Like discourage dwarves from existing down here, especially at the start of the season. Yes, we gave peace a chance, but it didn't work very well, so we're going back to violence, preferably automated violence. We gave giant hamsters a chance as well. We're running out of them. So, yes, we probably want to bury the dead swiftly. Let's see if we can organise making burying the dead a thing that happens quickly. So this is, everyone should be willing to engage in burial tasks. Actually, let's make the hauling, no, I don't know quite how this works. So let's temporarily turn off refuse hauling, furniture hauling and animal hauling from there and add it to this one. so that nobody does it. So that then the main hauling that people will do will be the dead. And not, for instance, storing items in bins. I mean, recovering the wounded is obviously an even higher priority, but right, yes, you know what you're doing. You're not actually very badly injured. Right. So what's going on with burials? We're treating that as a low. I think pick-up equipment is fine. Diagnosing and dressing patients is fine. I think we might want to. I don't even know what labour pasturing animals comes under, if any. We'll leave it. I'm sure someone will bury someone soon. We could make sure we've got a decent number of additional tombs, of course. Right, we've got a giant wild boar piglet lying around somewhere. So we've got more permanently tame ravens now. That's nice. And we'll presumably be getting some more if the raven hasn't. That was, yes, she's still sitting on her eggs. Those ones should hatch fully tame. Right, meanwhile, is that lever hooked up? No. Okay. Well, it's not as high a priority as burying the dead or healing the wounded, so we won't worry about that for now. Dear, you seem to be in a pretty bad way. But you're getting sorted out, that's nice. And taming giant hamsters appears to be a thing now. Good. I mean, we have far fewer giant hamsters to train now. Quite a lot of them are wild. I don't know which ones are chained up, and this is confusing because they don't get marked, which the wiki says, well, maybe you should name them chained giant hamster in order to avoid confusion. But frankly, I think the giant hamsters have been more trouble than they're worth, so... But we do have at least some leopards. Probably not enough yet, but we could train all of our leopards for war, just in case that's helpful. What else do we have? Got some grizzlies, but yes, the grizzly cubs, that's our breeding pair, so we probably want the grizzly cubs to grow up, and then we have them trained for war as well. See, that rooster never learned how to avoid our traps. Why did the goblins manage it, eh? Well, apparently training leopards for war is a popular activity, unlike, say, burying the dead. Actually, possibly we should temporarily take all of our squads out of training. Part, of course, from the lardy larks. So that they can do other work. You're the captain of the lardy larks, so that's why you're rather too happy for your current role, but I think we'll allow that. Apparently we do have, yes, Sodel. Are you Sodel Attirol with far too many names now? Presume you are. Oh, maybe not. No, I think you're the other Sodell. You seem to be quite unhappy. Let's see if we can stick you in the Lardy-larks. Maybe that will help with your happiness. Oh good, someone was burying someone. I mean, I think now they're officially buried, even though we've only put one tooth in there. Yes, okay, at least some store item in tomb jobs are actually now taking place. Excellent. And someone is linking that building as well. Good. I'd like to test this lever before I go to bed. So yes, we hope that that lot will become useful. Oh, what's the Lardy-larks are uniform? Right, they do actually appear to have one. Good, right. That's fine. Just wanted to check that we weren't going to find that when we stuck someone in the Lardy-larks they took all their armour off. Right. We now know a few facts about leopard training. So who's linking that building and what are they doing? So here they are coming to do something. Looks like they're going over to the bridge first. Oh, right, yes. Which is quite complicated to reach. Okay, I think that's that bit done. Now back to the lever, carrying presumably a mechanisms. So apparently, yes, I think our leopards are now trained for war. So we could put them somewhere where the goblins will meet them, though I fear that they're only going to be useful if we can get an enormous mob of leopards. I mean, like, if we can get leopards breeding like giant hamsters, then we probably wouldn't have a problem. Right. So now, if we pull this lever, no, let's first pull the pump lever. And that should start the pump and flood the reservoir. There. Right. There are two people in the room. I'm slightly scared because it might flood quite enthusiastically, but I think it won't. Well, let's, for safety, stop the pump now, even though I don't think that's strictly necessary. And then we'll move the bridge because I'm slightly worried that it will drown. Oh good, the animals are getting out at least. Right, so I think the pump is no longer running. So now we could pull that lever, which is linked to the bridge. And that should drop a safe amount of water into here. But like, it's possible it will drop no water at all because the water will just evaporate in some confusing fashion. No, there's the water. Right, we have a slightly surprised but probably very happy because of the waterfall dwarf. Who will now be learning how to swim. Let's lock the door. Or at least would be learning how to swim if there were the right amount of water down here. Slightly concerned that we appear to have filled it with slightly too little water now. I mean, that's not entirely surprising. The volume that you get pouring down has now been reduced by the size of the raised drawbridge. So yeah, now there isn't quite enough water to learn to swim in. Right, we're going to have to fix that, aren't we? I'll make the door passable. Restart the pumps because I think the pumps can just run continuously now. And drain the water, just in case I'm wrong about the pumps. So the pump's now running, but it's not moving any water because the bridge is where the bridge is. Right, so that like 2/3 worked. Possibly our best bet here is actually just to make the swimming pool a bit smaller. Like if we wall off one of the edges, Right, we have 3 adult stray grizzly bears. Let's train them for war. Actually have 4. That one's our nominal breeding stock, but let's train them all anyway. Right. So yes, I think we need to reduce the size of this room a little in order that when it floods more deeply. But I think that will work. Also observe that we are actually mostly burying people now. This is nice. I hope we can get this dwarf out of the tree. It's not marked as having a job to be undertaken, so I might cut the tree down to be on the safe side. So you're in the apricot tree, which is the right hand one of those 2 trunks. Let's just mark that for felling just in case. Do we actually have anyone scheduled for felling, or have they all died? Oh, we have plenty of woodcutters. Right, yes, I should... Let's do the schedule, at least the things that I can work out how to do. So I think if we reduce this by... What's that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're reducing that by 1/7, which should obviously... Well, it'll increase the water depth by 1/7 of what the water depth is. It might not even be enough. That's probably safe then. Right. While we're leaving that, yeah, I think now what we need to do by the next season is have far more traps. And next time the goblins come, we're not trying to parley, I think. I think we just hope that we can send them all through a vast number of traps. And maybe that will work and be slightly less fatal. I don't know. Like, we are running out of dwarves, but we haven't run out yet. We are still alive. And we will continue to play this until it becomes impossible. I expect at some point there will just be some catastrophe where the goblins get through and slaughter everyone who survived it, who's still alive, like when we're somewhere around 10 dwarves. So I don't think we're going to be like running this game with 1 dwarf, but who knows? We will see. Anyway, for now, I think it's time for me to say good night. So I'll save and find the good night button, which must be around here somewhere. Oh yes, there it is. Good night.